Good morning everybody, here at Tarugan, and I love this place. It park up's really good, so close to the village, the town itself. You can walk in from here in a few minutes, and had a great night last night. And I met a guy called Paolo yesterday when I was asking for directions for a shop, and he speaks really good English. And when I was out having a beer in the local bars last night, he turned up and invited me to watch Inter Milan play Benfica in the European Cup. And so we went in this bar, we had a great night, and he's working over there, and he's invited me for breakfast at 10 o'clock. It's only early, it's only about 8. I just took Ellie a walk before it gets too warm. And this town, there's like street cleaners everywhere, and people working, you know, to keep the place tidy. It's really nice to see, and really like this place. Well, it's whitewashed little houses and what have you. It's really nice. Something that might be of interest to you. At the moment I'm producing hot water in the Truma Combi 4E, just via solar, via the inverter. And because I've got the Irmashalt unit fitted, if you want to know what that is, I did a video about it. You can scroll through all my content and pick it out, and basically that puts power onto every 3-pin socket in the van, whether it's either from the inverter or from electric hookup. And I've put the control on the Truma onto electric 1, which is the low wattage setting, and just turn the hot water on via the controller. And now, because of all this solar we're getting, it's free hot water and saves gas. So we went for breakfast on my final morning in Tarugan, and this is Paolo on the left with the red shirt on. If you're ever in Tarugan and you see him, give him a shout. He's a really nice guy. And you might notice that for breakfast they're having beer. After leaving Tarugan, we headed towards this lakeside park up. I'd got talking to a couple at the Tarugan site, and they gave me a list of all their favourite park ups and airs, and this was probably the closest that was to my intended route, so this is where we set off towards. This lakeside spot is really lovely. It took some getting to. There was a lot of like single track country lanes to navigate, a bit bumpy in places. I came here just so Ellie could be near water, so she can keep cool by having a paddle. But just listen to this. All you can hear is birds singing. It's going to be a lovely night here tonight. Those birds I could hear singing yesterday, I thought they were song thrushes. They were really prominent. The song was beautiful and it never stopped. It was incessant. And it turns out they're nightingales. And how I know is I use this app called Merlin Bird ID. It's absolutely fantastic. And you just record the song and it tells you what the birds are. And I'll go on to screen record now and show you how it works. So once you've downloaded the app, just go on to Sound ID and press Sound Record, and then it listens for the birds, and within a few seconds they're there, identified. Well, there you go, common nightingale. And if you're walking through a wood and there's lots of different birds singing, you can just open that app up and record Sound ID, and it'll tell you what every single bird is. It'll come up with a big list of everything it hears. It's quite amazing, and there's a good tip for you. Also knocking about on the lake was this purple heron, and I'd never seen one of these before, and it was quite secretive, very shy, but I did manage to get 1 or 2 pictures of it. And also knocking about was this black kite, and this was also a first for me. And at one point I saw it trying to grab a fish out of a grebe's mouth on the lake. We set off from the lakeside park up back across the dam wall, and we're headed towards the west coast of Portugal. And it should have been a couple of hours drive, but it did take a bit longer because of the windy roads. But it would be nice to see the sea again. We've arrived here now in Sines, S-I-N-E-S, on the coast, and it's the first time we've seen the sea since we were in Hendaye in southwest France. And the waves are pretty strong, pretty rough. Probably a surface place, I don't know. But the drive over here was quite slow. There was bumpy country lanes, keeping off the toll roads. Once we got to about 20 miles outside Sines, it was fine, it was nice roads. But we've found this beach here on Park for night, and it's massive, it goes on forever, and there's nobody on it at all. The van's parked up over there next to a restaurant. I don't know if you can stay there tonight. I can ask at the restaurant and find out. But what a gorgeous place. It's about 25 degrees now, and we're going to have a walk on the beach. Yep. We didn't stay at that car park at the beach last night. The signal was really poor, and I wanted to watch the FA Cup semi-final, and so we drove into town, found a park for night place next to a supermarket with 3 spaces there for campers and motorhomes, and watched the match and just ended up staying there. It was really peaceful and quiet overnight, and also it had a laundrette bang next door, which was really handy because I needed to do some. And so this morning we've set off and we've arrived somewhere really special, somewhere really beautiful as well. And for this trip it's the end of the road, because we're at the most southwesterly point of Europe, down near Sagres in Portugal, and over there is the lighthouse. And unlike Land's End, everything's free. It's not owned, probably not owned by some millionaire who charges money to make himself even fatter. The parking's free, walking round's free, and that's a nice refreshing change, and it's an absolutely gorgeous place. So I put the drone up. It is a bit windy, but I managed to get the drone up, and I'll show you some footage and photographs.
Got me looking quite beige, got me deep in the haze. There's no more compassion, no. Raise me, I need something fast, I need something to last and give satisfaction, no. How big is your love? Tell me how
Welcome to Albufeira. We came from Sagres. I stayed behind the Intermarché supermarket when I stayed in Sagres, and it was an horrendous night. The staff were there at 5 o'clock in the morning and banging about, and it's probably the worst night I've had since I set off. So I don't recommend that, but here in Albufeira we found this site, and originally only ended up wanting to stay for 2 nights, but we've enjoyed it so much ended up staying for 4. So this site, it's only €9 a night, which is a cracking price because you get electric thrown in with that. It's got showers, there's 3 showers and a couple of toilets. It's pretty basic, it's a bit rough around the edges, but what you expect for €9 a night. But the people here are really friendly, and it's got a lot of long-termers on site. Well, I say a lot, quite a few. There's some English that have been here for like 8-10 years, and they're all really friendly and knowledgeable and willing to give you advice and chat to you and spend time with you. And it's a lovely atmosphere. It's like a little village, and I could actually stay here longer, and I'll definitely be back. But Albufeira, it's got everything you would expect from a major holiday resort. It's got all the bars, the strip and the stuff for the young ones, but it's also got quieter beaches, and the beaches are about 20-25 minutes walk from this site, which is not too bad. But it's also got a lovely nature reserve just down the road, and it's got a little bar just around the corner from the site that we've been to at night. That's just really relaxing and nice place to go just as sunset approaches. So it's a lovely place here. I've really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely be back.
Meet me where the meadows grow by the water hole. Lucid dreams of you and me. Sky high, busy life, I wanna live. Oh, muscle tight, early light, cleanse down jaw. Say my name or say it twice. Shed this layer of overthinking. Oh, I don't wanna be less than I can be. Waterfalls wash me. The wicked drowning water, let go, wicked water. Wicked drowning water. I don't wanna be less than I can be. Waterfalls wash me and cleanse me. The wicked drowning water, let go, wicked water. Wicked drowning water.
On the outskirts of Albufeira there is a nature reserve called Sergoa dos Salgados, and it's a fantastic place. There's a lovely wooden walkway that goes across the reserve, and from the far end of that you can see turtles. I don't know if they're turtles or terrapins swimming about in the water, especially if you throw some bread in for them. And the birds that I saw there were 4 firsts for me. There was avocets, there were black-winged stilt, there was a spoonbill knocking about next to a little island, and the main attraction for me was the flamingos. I'd never seen these before, and it was just fantastic to watch these 3 grouped together feeding. They sort of stirred up the bottom of the lake with their feet, and then scooped it up with a beak and sifted it all out with the heads upside down. It was wonderful to watch. Also, the nature reserve was positioned right at the side of a beach. It was a really quiet beach, this one, and it got a little beach bar on there, so you could make a day of it doing the reserve and the beach in the same day. Our next stop would see us leaving Portugal and going back over the border into Spain, and because there's a time difference between Portugal and Spain, we would be an hour in front. We were heading towards Seville, to a place I'd found on Park for Night at a little town called Umbreti. Umbreti also turned out to be a lovely town. It was only quite small, but got a lovely atmosphere, really friendly locals and beautiful streets. And all the streets were in decoration when I arrived, and after inquiring with one of the locals about what it was all about, it turned out it was fiesta time. And because it was fiesta, they had pyrotechnics going off from early morning till late at night, and it was quite annoying. This French couple rocked up last night in their Palace liner motorhome, and look at the size of it compared to my little bus. And the back end lifts up, and he pulled out this like little quad, well, not a little quad, but a fairly big quad for running about on. After leaving Umbretti and all the explosions behind, we headed south towards a lake called Embalse del Barbate, which is on Park for Night, and it's a lakeside park up, and I thought it'd be nice to get Ellie near some water.
How big is your love? Tell me, how high is your patience? What can I be saying? I wanna catch the wave. Now, how big is your love? Tell me, how high is your patience? Can I be saying? I wanna catch the wave.
We've had 2 nights at this lakeside park up, and it's been really nice. It's been really hot. There's been hardly any wind at all, which has made it worse, but that's allowed me to get a little job done on the van that I've been wanting to do for ages, and I brought the materials with me to do it, and that was to re-black all the plastics around the bumper at the front, the bumper at the back, and the side pieces. And I've got most of it done, but today, I don't know if you can see, it's really windy today. I don't know if you can see the trees moving about, but this is preventing me from getting the front done. So I've got all the sides and the back done. I think I'll make a separate little video about this, but I'll just go and show you what I got done yesterday. So that looks great, but the front still a bit rough. You can see them grey patches there. It all needs sorting out. So once we get a bit of decent weather again, well, decent, it's warm enough, it's just this wind. Once this wind's dropped, I'll be able to get the rest of it done. So we're going to move on today to a little place. It's not that far away, it's an air, whereas this isn't, so we've not been able to get water or anything here, so it'll be better over there. We're just gonna, this is only about 20 minutes drive, so we're going to do that this morning. And just before we set off, I was taking some pictures and this bird flew over, and it turns out it was a glossy ibis. We're here at Vanlife Park Up, and the parking area is just across there behind me. And we've had 2 nights here and I've enjoyed it here. It's a nice little town, it's very hilly. You need to be built like a mountain goat to walk about around here. But they've got a cracking little bar just up the hill, and they serve this beer in frozen glasses out the freezer, and it's absolutely delicious. So I've enjoyed a couple of nights up there. And today is Thursday the 4th of May, so in a couple of days time the coronation of the King is taking place, and I was thinking of going down to Gibraltar to spend Saturday the 6th down there. Thought it'd be a bit nice, a bit quirky to be in a British overseas territory for the coronation, and so I think that's what we're going to do. We'll set off this morning and maybe have 3 nights at La Linea, which is just on the Spanish side of the border. I think it's about €14 to park up a night there, but I think that's the plan. And just behind me, or just in front of me, is across the road from the parking area. And if you can see, that is a stork's nest on the top of that pole, and the mother is sat up there, and I think it's a good opportunity to get some pictures.